Alright, so I want to talk a little bit about a problem that I was having with my F350, but it applies to any 2011, 2016 F350, F250 Super Duty. Um, took my truck to a couple different Ford dealers, two of them actually, one of them here in Maryland, and then another one in Texas while I was on vacation. Took it in for an alignment issue, told them what was going on. Truck was wandering, getting a clunking feeling out of the truck when making left and right hand turns, and the suspension's loaded up, going about 30-40 miles an hour down a back road, and you take a turn. You'd feel a nice clunk over any type of road imperfections. And then 65 mile an hour or above, the truck was wandering all over the road. Showed him the tires. The tires were brand new, probably had only a couple thousand miles on them, but they were already cupping on the outside. Had some weird wear issues there. So long story short, first shop didn't have an in-house alignment rack that could do a dually. So they sent it out to another shop. The other shop said, "Oh yeah, everything's fine, no problems." They threw it on the alignment rack, no problem with the alignment. After that, I replaced a couple of front suspension components because I was kind of frustrated and started throwing money at the problem, which was the wrong thing to do. Replaced the tie rod ends, replaced the drag link, replaced the outer tie rod end for the drag link. Also replaced the track bar bushing at the track bar bracket, but I did not replace the track bar ball joint. There didn't feel like that was an issue. Didn't have any play in it. Went and got an alignment done, and the alignment came out great, but the guy who did the alignment said, "Hey, look, alignment specs out perfectly, but it wanders. It wanders going down the road, 65 miles an hour. It still wanders, and I can't figure it out." So at that point, I was kind of frustrated, but I had a vacation coming up, so I went ahead and took the truck out on vacation. Got part of the way through the trip, and I had to get an oil change done. So I stopped at a Ford dealer in Texas, Town East Ford, in Mesquite, and they took the truck, had a Ford technician check out the front end. Again, no problems found. At this point, was pretty frustrated because I knew there was an issue, and I just didn't feel like it either wasn't a money maker for them or they just didn't give a shit. I don't know. So I decided to go back and fix the problem myself. I already knew kind of what the problem was. When I replaced the drag link, I grabbed the sector shaft, and I noticed there was a little bit of play in it. I didn't really know how to fix the problem at the time. I pointed it out to the Ford dealers and said, "Hey, I think this is what the problem is. Please definitely take a look at that. If the steering gear box needs to be replaced or adjusted, just let me know, and we'll figure it out from there." I don't know if they even... maybe I'm just some crazy customer that's like, "Oh yeah, that's the problem." No. I'm not a mechanic, right? So... long story short, pulled the truck apart today, or last night actually, and took some video of the problem. And then also took some video of how to fix it. I think I've got the problem resolved, and I hope this helps other people that have wandering steering issues on a 6.7 Power Stroke. Here we go. Alright, so I've removed the track bar bracket so I can reach my hand up in here and just grab this, and here's the issue. Okay, it's very... You can see it there. It's clearly moving. It's got a little wiggle in it. Maybe a millimeter, if that. Causes an issue when you're driving down the road. When you turn into a corner, you get a nice clunk in the steering, and it wanders on the highway, and it's cupping tires on the
on the inside and outside of the tire is cupping pretty good. I think there's some way to adjust this, but it doesn't look like there's any way to adjust the sector shaft here. I'll have to look at the Ford manual and see if there's a clean way to do that.
Okay, so we're going to talk about how to adjust the steering gear mesh load adjustment in a 2011 to 2016 F350, F250 Super Duty. What you're going to do is you're going to remove the left-hand splash fender in the driver's side fender. It's pretty self-explanatory. There's a bunch of 8mm and 6mm bolts. You're going to remove, and a couple of Christmas tree plugs you can pull out. Anyway, once that gets out of the way, you're going to see this little doohickey right here. You're going to need a 7mm Allen key and a 22mm wrench to adjust this. Now, I had enough play in the sector shaft that I could have my wife get in the driver's seat of the truck, turn the steering wheel left and right with the wheels off the pavement, and feel the clunk. If I had the wheels on the ground, I could not feel the clunk. However, if I was driving down the road and I turned the steering wheel to the right and hit any type of pavement pothole or just a slight hiccup in the road, I could feel the clunk in a turn while the suspension was loaded up. Also, above 65 miles an hour, the truck was wandering on the highway, and you could pretty clearly see cupping on the inside and outside of the front tires. So, you can go through the pinpoint tests if you want to, but really putting your hand on the steering linkage and having somebody wiggle the steering wheel left and right while the suspension is unloaded with the tires off the ground, you will feel the play in that gear. You don't have to drop the track bar bracket and all that shit. I just did that for the video to try to explain the problem a little bit better. Now I had to remove this bolt, or loosen it rather, remove the mesh load adjustment bolt, and then put your 7mm Allen key in the adjustment in the actual sector shaft, and I turned it about half turn in to completely eliminate the play. Now, essentially what you're doing is you're moving the sector shaft to a tighter engagement with the steering gear, which can cause binding. So if you need to adjust this very slightly, eighth of a turn, as it explains, eighth of a turn in, eighth of a turn out, retighten the sector shaft mesh load lock nut, and then turn the steering all the way to the left, turn it all the way back to the right, recenter it, and then wiggle it back and forth to see if you've eliminated the play in the steering. It was very clear to me that if I went out, the looseness got worse. If I went in, it got a little bit tighter, a little bit tighter. I probably spent 45 minutes adjusting that to get it right in the sweet spot where it was not binding, but it had eliminated all the play. I hope this helps with your adjustment. I wasn't able to get any video recording of me adjusting that because there is so little space with the air conditioning condenser hoses that it's hard to see and hard to get your hands in there and to begin with, just to do the work by yourself, let alone get a video camera in there. And I hope this helps eliminate any clunking or death wobble problems that you might have with your Super Duty. Crap, now I don't remember how to turn it off.